Hey guys, MWUSA Season 3, Episode 163, and today is Friday, August 16th, and as you knew, I was going to be going out of town to be with the family. We had a family member pass, and I am here for the funeral. My wife is already here. I flew her in on Tuesday, and I did bring one of my kids with me, so all that was good. It did take all day to drive here. Like I said, almost halfway across the country, but we made it. Everything is good. It is scalding hot here, 92 to 94 degrees. Feels like 97 degrees right now. So right now it is evening on Friday, and on the way here, I took care of a lot of stuff over the phone, since I couldn't do the normal research and things because he was with me. I didn't want to be showing YouTube videos about baccarat and blackjack and slot machines, so I took care of a lot of personal stuff. Talked to him for a while. We enjoyed each other's company, and we made it here. Got to the house, and he's relaxing there right now, and I am on my way to the hotel to check in. So let me explain what happened here. This city is in an area that is near casinos, but none of them are actually in the area that I'm in, that the family is. So we're talking about casinos about an hour away in different directions or more. And so I called some of them, and some of them I had offers for, some of them I didn't, but I still called. And I called the first casino, and they said, well, we have an event going on right now, so you can come here, but it's going to be a discounted rate of $189 to $249 a night. And I'm like, I don't think so. And they said, well, you can call back in a little while and talk to a host, and we'll see what we can do. I said, okay. So I sent a message to one of my hosts that's nowhere near this city, but I thought maybe it would be able to help me out. And I learned something, actually. But I sent her a text message, and then I continued calling other casinos. And I tried some different companies, but I ended up at another one with the same brand, many miles apart. And they told me Friday you can stay here for $39.
There's a speed trap ahead.
And Saturday you can stay here for free. And I said, okay, well, let me think about it. And I called back the first casino, and I said, you guys told me I could talk to a host, and maybe we can get something going here, because I'd prefer to be there because the blackjack is higher limits, better slot machines, faster dealers, just a whole better environment in that casino than this other one that was free. So I would rather pay a little bit to be in one casino rather than get the other one for free. So anyway, I called and talked to this other casino, and they gave me that information. I called back to the first one. I finally got a hold of a host, and she said that they have an event going on, and they can't really help me. She can knock it down a little bit, but it was still going to be high. She's like, well, then we could look at your play and decide if we're going to comp it. I'm like, lady, I haven't had that happen for 20 years. You know, either you're going to give it to me or you're not. I'm not going to be playing for a room. So I said, no, thank you, and I let that go. I called back to this casino, and I said, okay, I'll take the $39 for one night and the second night for free. And they said, oh, no, sir. We don't have that anymore. We have $39 for each night, which is like 48 or 46 or something like that, with some kind of a fee going on. And so it's going to be like just under $100. And I said, okay, that's fine. And they're like, okay, well, we need at least half the 100 now and half the 100 when you check in. And then we need $50 a night deposit when you check in. I'm like, can I just give you the 200 now? Oh, no, you can't do that. Give us like 46 now, and when you check in, it's like 146, and then when you check out, it'll take so many days, and you'll get 100 of it back. I'm like, fine. So I did that. That's all done. Now, the last time I stayed here, I showed up around 11 p.m. to check in, and they'd given my room away, and they ended up having to finagle some stuff to get me my room back. So I said, I'm going to make sure I check in earlier this time. So anyway, by the time I book this, I get a text back from the first host that I sent a message to, and she says, oh yeah, I can get you a room for 3 nights, $200 or $300 in slot play, and $200 or $300 in free food. I said, well, I already booked this, and they said I can't cancel it or I have to pay for it. Can you fix it? She's like, oh, I didn't know you wanted it for tonight. I'm like, come on. So I gave you the dates when I sent you the text, the initial text. She's like, well, you got to be at least 72 hours out. I said, fine. So I said, all right, I'm going to be in so-and-so city on Wednesday next week. Can you get me Wednesday night, Thursday night, Friday night? And she said yes, and I haven't heard back from her, so I'm assuming that that's okay. And what I would do is, next Wednesday, I have to be back home Wednesday night for a meeting. But what I could do is do Wednesday check-in, hang out there in that city, come home for a meeting, leave home Thursday, head back to the same city, and stay overnight into Friday. So do a Thursday night instead of a Wednesday night. And then that way I'd also have a room I could do my meetings and stuff in instead of sitting in the car. And I'd have an actual bed for once to sleep in instead of sleeping in my car. So I think that would be fine. Hopefully I hear back from her and that all works out. So now, as far as this place, I'm heading over to this place to check in right now because, like I said last time they gave the room away, I'm hustling over there. I'm going to get checked in, and I noticed that I had free food, I had free play, and I had a free gift at this place and another place that's a couple hours away, but I'd have to do it all by 9 o'clock tonight. My wife right now is getting ready to make dinner at her family's house, so I'm just wondering, do I try to make the lap right now and hit both places and get the 2 free gifts, or do I say the heck with it, just forget the free gift, come here, look around, maybe get a little bit of play in, maybe a little bit of slot in, and just head back? And I think that's probably what I'm going to do. I don't really care about their $10 gift that much. But obviously, if I had driven out by myself, I'd still be on the road because I would have hit a minimum of, actually looking at the map, a minimum of 4 casinos on my way to this area. So, but that's okay. So that the new plan then, we're going to be checking in. We're going to go play our free play. We're going to see if we can hit a table or two, even though the dealers are slow and all that. See if we can make a little bit of money. Get our free gift, head back to the house, eat dinner with the family, hang out there, and then tonight we'll head back to the hotel and we'll try to get some more blackjack and slots in. So that's what's happening right now. Like I said, it's very hot right now, but at least I'm here. I forgot to bring my black shoes, so I got light colored shoes with a dark pants and a dark shirt for the funeral. I feel bad, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'll stand behind somebody or something. I don't know. Yeah, that's about it. So we'll see what happens. This place is okay, but not the greatest place. But at least we have a place to stay for free, and I don't have any problem with driving to other casinos tonight, coming home at 2 o'clock in the morning. The funeral starts at 10 a.m. and then we'll just deal with it from there. So letting you go right now. I'm going to go ahead and check in, and I'll be back. All right, guys, I am back. So I made it to the hotel successfully, no problem. I go to check in. I give them my ID, my credit card. Ends up being cheaper than I thought, so that was fine. And then after I finished checking in, there's a table and you get to pick a prize off the table. This is the confusing part here. Coming from where I live, this is a total no-no. This would never work where I live. So I check into the hotel, and you get your choice of bottles of whiskey. I'm like, okay. So I picked up a bottle of whiskey and took that to my car, then went into the casino and played. And I see people walking around with these bottles, so I guess you have to pay for liquor here, but they'll allow you to bring a bottle with you. I'm very confused here, so I just don't get it. So you're gonna sell me liquor, but then if I bring one with me, let's assume that you can't drink it there, right? Let's just assume that, but I can walk to the bathroom with it and drink it in the bathroom and come back out. I'm just shocked. So anyway, I guess that's AV. I guess that's money. I don't think this bottle is worth very much, maybe $15 or something like that, but that was very interesting. I did make one lap of the slots and found a few things. I mean, the place is just a dismal, terrible place. Tables, terrible. There were probably 4 blackjack tables open, slowest dealers you ever saw, like molasses, and tables were full. The rules were okay, not great. I mean, the high limit was closed, for one thing. The low limit was a 6 deck, which is not bad. 3 to 2 hit 17. I mean, for a low limit, that's pretty good. I didn't really notice the penetration. I would imagine probably 1 1/4 to 1 1/2 in a place like this, but very interesting. I doubt that there's going to be any high limit open, or if there is, it's going to be another slow dealer. So tonight when we come back to the room, I'll take one more lap and see what I can find. If there is any high limit blackjack or any kind of decent blackjack to be played, I will. And then I will go to a different casino, even though it'll be a ways to get there. It would be worth it to have a good game. I ended up leaving ahead $172 on the slots, so that's something. At least it paid for my gas and pretty much paid for my hotel. So that's a good start. But anyway. Right now, heading back toward the house, 92 degrees outside, very hazy skies, construction everywhere, traffic everywhere. So I'm just going to relax and just take it easy, head to the house, and I'll be back to update you later tonight. All right, guys, I'm back. All right, so wrapped things up, went home to where my wife was, sat around there for a while, hung out with the family, picked my wife up and brought her to the casino, and got into the room, got settled in and everything, and said goodbye. And I went downstairs to play. Rotten casino, not a lot of opportunity, as I said, but still looked around and found a few plays. I did play one table for about 10 minutes. It's a double deck, decent rules, decent penetration, decent pit boss standing over me every single hand. And after a couple of shoes, people were coming to the table. It was a good excuse for me to get up. Waitress broke a glass or two behind me on the floor, and then this lady came to the table, and then 2 other people came to the table. And I said to myself, I said out loud actually, I said, well, it might be a good idea for me just to, take a little win and walk around and see what happens. So I got up plus 300, spreading from 25 to 125. Low was even, high was right around that range, plus 300. It was pretty flat most of the time, but made a few bucks out of it. I did also play a couple slots. It was busy and really couldn't really sit down. In fact, something that I saw earlier and I was waiting for an opportunity to sit down and play. Someone actually played it while I was there, and it was at $7 a spin. And when I walked by, it was counting up the win, and it was already close to, it was already over 5,000 for sure. It was going to be over 9,000. So that, you know, that doesn't feel good to see that, knowing that you wanted to play but couldn't get to it. So right now, I was planning on going to another casino. Right now it's late, really late, like almost midnight. And if I'm going to travel, it's going to be hours between casinos. So, and funeral is tomorrow at 10. So I'm just going to hit 2 casinos, and I'm going to come back to this one, hopefully, and try to find a few more plays and wrap it up for the night. And we'll see how things go timing wise. But there's a casino close by that I wasn't planning on hitting, but I figure I'm already here. I might as well give it a shot and then go to my real target, which is the further one away that I was talking about. This close one is in a very bad area, very heavy police presence there. So just got to be careful there. Be aware of your surroundings and stuff. And you have to have, you know what, I don't even have my player's card. You have to have a high-level player's card just to even park in the parking garage. I didn't think I would play at the franchise, so, and now I just missed my turn. Let me turn here real quick. So, oh man, I'm gonna end up like having to park on the street and stuff and walk around with all this money in my pocket on the street. Shoot. I don't know now. Now I'm thinking about not going there. I think with it being this close, I think I'm going to go ahead and go there anyway and see if I can get in. Man, I didn't even remember that that's the way their parking garage worked. Anyway, all right, I'm gonna head out and I'll figure something out. I'll be back and let you know what happens. All right, guys, I am back. So I go into this place. I was in there for just over an hour, unfortunately, and was not the greatest experience. So on my way here, just before the ramp, like 200 feet before the ramp, I see like everyone merging to the left, even though the ramp, of course, is on the right. And I'm wondering what's going on. And all I see is darkness. So it doesn't look like there's anything blocking the road or anything. But when I get close, I notice that there's a black truck that's sideways in the road. It looks like they had a big like metal toolbox or something. Not the standard ones that are made for trucks, but like the old-fashioned, like just metal toolbox that you'd find in a factory or somewhere like that. There's big tools in it. And it looked like it fell off the back of it. There were 2 other cars involved, and the truck was sideways. It was a large pickup truck, and it was sideways blocking 2 of the 3 lanes. So everybody was getting all the way to the left and then all the way to the right. And I heard some crunching under the tires, and I was worried for a second that maybe I went over something, but I don't think so. So I pull up to this place, and I'm thinking, man, I'm not going to be able to get to the parking garage. What am I going to do? I pull up to the parking garage. I open up my app and bring up my card to show my level, and it says on the sign, you know, be ready to provide your card. And I pull up, and the gate just opens, so without even showing my card. So I went in, parked, and took the elevator to the casino. Walked in the casino, and it was busy, and it was hot, and it was sweaty. All the things I remember from last time I was there. And just started looking at machines first, took a lap, and I was down about, I don't know, I think I was down $82 when I went to play blackjack. I get on a blackjack table, and it's a high limit, which here would be a $50 table. $50 table, 6 deck, hit 17. not the greatest, but about one deck penetration or so it wasn't terrible. But my luck was terrible. So the first shoe, I'm just getting creamed. I lost 11 hands before I won a hand at $50. Rebought, and see, how much was I in for total? I think I was only in for 1,000 total, but I was facing negative counts most of the time. Another shoe went by, not much better. I was down about 750, and then a guy comes to my table just as I put the cut card in, and of course I would have had 2 10 of spades, which, and I would have won the hand, but instead he ends up with a blackjack, we both ended up losing. The dealer had a 21. Next hand he had a blackjack, the dealer had a 20, and it was just more misery continuing on. So later on in that shoe, I get a blackjack on a min bet, $50 min bet, and the dealer pays me, and I'm on third base, he's on first base, and she goes to him and asks him what he wants to do. He's got a 12 against a 9. And he's like, I already gave you the signal. You already saw it. I'm not doing it again. And he refused to give the signal. So now the dealer is this little Asian lady, and she's not, why are you picking on this lady? You know what I mean? And she didn't do anything wrong. All she's doing is following the rules, doing her job, and she ends up calling the pit over. It takes forever for the pit to get over there. I'm like, come on, dude, just do the signal one more time. And the funny thing too is he bought in for $280. It's not like he bought in for a bunch of money. So the pit boss comes over and he makes a big deal, and she said, fine, just give him a card, and he gets a 10 and bus. Next hand, he's playing this Trilux, the 2 different Triluxes, low Trilux, high Trilux thing, and he ends up getting 3 of a kind, which is 90 to 1, and whatever on the other one, 10 to 1, or I have no idea what it is, 30 to 1, something, 10 to 1 maybe, for 3 of a kind. And so he gets like $500 he wins on that hand, and plays for another 10 hands probably, and ends up leaving with like $860. Meanwhile, I'm still struggling. I end that shoe down about 250, and start another shoe, and I'm 2/3 of the way through that shoe. Another guy comes to the table and wants to play. He's like, I'll get in anytime you want. And I'm like, no, you won't, because it's no mid-shoe entry. So he sits and waits, and I play through to the end of the shoe. And at the end of the shoe, that hand put me up for the first time, which was plus $100 only. And I end up getting up. I'd been there for almost an hour at that table. I ended up leaving, walking with $100, and I looked at some more slots, and I saw a couple slot hustlers, and they were being super obvious. I even said it out loud. I'm like, dude, why don't you make it a little bit more obvious? And then this other guy smiled, and I could tell he was one too. I walked over there, and he's fast playing the same game the other guy just checked, and I talked to him for a minute, and then walked away, found a couple other plays, and ended up actually getting my money back on the slots, which I wasn't too concerned about. The only reason I stopped there is because it was close by. I know that it's a garbage hole, but I ended up ahead $10 on the slots and $100 on the blackjack, and wasting an hour. Now, I'm going on to another casino, and this casino has like the best rules, the best odds, and they're like, every time I've been to this casino, it's like they're oblivious to counting, like they have no clue what's going on or something. So I'm hoping I can win some money here. I'm hoping it's not too busy, because this is the casino I wanted to stay at, but they have that big event tonight, and that's why there were no rooms available. So hopefully it's not jam-packed, and hopefully I can get a little bit of playtime in, and then I have to head back because it's going to be too late after that. So if I can get an hour on those tables, and maybe make a couple bucks on the slots, I'd be happy just to get back. And I don't know what I'm up. I'm up like 500 today. It's not much, but what are you going to do? I mean, so I go stand in line to cash out, and there's 20 people in line, maybe, okay, I'm exaggerating, maybe 14 people in line, and one cashier, and she's doing the credit cards that take forever, and talking to people, and double, I need a double over here, and they're waiting for someone, and it's like all the things, and it's hot and sweaty in there, and smoky and nasty, and I just wanted to get out of there. And there's a guy in front of me, and he turns around and looks at me like he's making a statement or something. He's got this long hair, and he said, well, I don't want to say where he said he was from, but he said he's from this place about 3 hours maybe from here. I've never played there, actually. I should go there. I hear it's good there. And he said, well, I don't even gamble. He just turned around and said, I don't even gamble. And I said, well, what are you doing? He's like, well, my friends are here and they were winning, so I decided to play with $100. I'm like, okay. And he's like, I only have $20 here, and I spent $15 on a pack of cigarettes, so I'm really down $65. I'm like, well, that's okay. A movie will cost you $65 these days. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, any recommendation about what I should do with the last $20? And I said, are you hungry? He's like, yeah. I said, get yourself something to eat. I said, that's the best thing you could do with it. So I think he was taking my advice and doing that while he waited for his friends to finish up. So went back to the parking area, got my car, and right now I'm heading off to that next casino, which is, if I had stayed at that casino, I don't think I would have gone anywhere else in town, because I would have had a room there. It's big, it's good. I could have gone to my room and then come back and had another session, but the way it is right now and the timing of it right now, I'm only going to be able to get one session in, because it's only going to be one shift. So anyway, moving on to that place, and I'll be back to update you. Alright guys, I am back. So walking around this casino, and right now I've got nowhere to play. So there are multiple double-deck good tables to play, but right now they're all full. So I'm walking around. I'm going to look at slots one time, head over there, and hopefully things are a little bit calmer, and hopefully we have a shot to make some money. But as of right now, I haven't found a single machine, and my tables are full. And this is like the best spot. This is where you want to be. I can't be here forever though, because got to get back there to get some sleep to get ready for tomorrow. So unfortunately, that's what's going on. So look around, hopefully find some plays, go back to the blackjack area, and then I'll come back and update you. Alright guys, I'm going to start talking here as I'm walking, just to get everything out, get everything out while it's still fresh. Didn't go as planned, but did okay. I walked in, there's two entrances. So first, I go to the parking garage, which is way on the other side of the property. Walk in from over there, walk in through the whole building, and go to the entrance, and there's two entrances, and the guy's like, my ID reader is not working. I'm like, oh, were you planning on IDing me? I'm older than your parents, so you're planning on IDing me? What's going on? And he's like, well, no, but I can't take you because the ID reader doesn't work. I'm like, okay, so you have to walk all the way around to the other entrance. Well, you don't have any cones here. You don't have anything saying that. So everybody's walking down this long hallway, getting all the way to this guy, and then getting upset and turning around and going down there. So that was the beginning. That was the first taste of what was to come. So I did play some slots, and but then I went to play some blackjack. Then I came back and looked at slots again, and then back to blackjack again. So when I played slots, I ended up ahead like $99.60, so we'll call it $100. plus $100 on the slots. That's fine. I go to play blackjack. They have a great double deck game. Cut off about 20 cards, 22 cards maybe. And so it's a beautiful game. Double anything, split anything, hit 17. I don't think you can resplit aces, but I didn't run into that, so I don't know if you can or not. So buy in for 500 on that. Start playing. First shoe, like what, 11, 12 hands, something like that. I win one hand. So I'm like, oh boy, you know, like you can't even score an easy 500 betting $50 a hand. So yeah, so it was, the minimum was 50. So started with 50. First 12 hands, I win one hand. And rebuy. You get to the point where I'm in like 3,000. And now we're getting into situations, well, people were coming and going, and I'll talk about those people. Well, I could do that now. So I get to the table. There's two guys at the table already. Two very young black guys. Look like they're not even old enough. I don't know how they got in there. They didn't have one of those bracelets on that they usually give you because they checked your age. So either they know these guys or something happened there because it didn't look like anyone checked their ID. So these guys buy in. When I got there, they had a couple chips, it looked like, and I thought they may have had like handfuls of them, but they only had just maybe, I don't know, 6 $25 chips. They played those, and they had no clue how to play this game. I don't even know if they knew what game they were playing. I think they were playing Pinochle, Bingo. I have no idea what they were playing, but the guy has a soft 14 against a dealer 10 and stays. And I explained to him, hey, you shouldn't do that. And stupid me, I should have kept my mouth shut because instead of him losing and me winning, we both ended up losing that hand because he listened to me. And he had a bunch of hands like that, didn't double, didn't split, didn't hit, mostly didn't hit. He wasn't playing like no bust blackjack, but pretty damn close to it. Nothing good, you know. So, of course, I'm going, you know, up a wall here because I'm already not doing well, and that just aggravates the situation, right? And it doesn't matter, blah, blah, blah. We all know, but we all have emotions. We're all human beings. And when that stuff is happening and you're already losing, and that you don't start winning because he's doing something stupid, you continue to lose because he's doing something stupid, it gets a little bit aggravating. So anyway, they end up losing about $700 or $800 and leaving. Later on, they would come back and they had $100 in green. So that's, you know, so 4 green chips, lost those, rebought for 300 more, lost those and left. What else happened? The dealers have no clue how to count. I'm like, there's no way you guys are catching a card counter when I have a 12 and I get a 7 and you start adding the whole thing again. You don't say, okay, 12 plus 7 is 19. You go, oh, a 5 and a 7. And I'm like, what are you doing here? Over and over and over again. They can't keep track of what everybody has. They have to recount what everybody has, re-add, I guess, what everybody has in their hand. And it just slows down the game so much. I was at that table 2.5 hours. And of course, this is ridiculous. By the time I get to the hotel room, my wife's going to be pretty upset here. I'm not going to go to any other places or check the machines at the casino we're staying at. I'm going straight to the room and hoping everything's okay. But later on, I get a gentleman and like an older guy and a younger guy. The older guy buys in for $2,000, and he's got this really young, I don't want to say, I don't think she's a hired help or, you know, anything like that, but friend with him. And the younger guy also, there's a younger guy there, and the older guy buys in for 2,000, younger guy buys in for 500, and then later on he buys in for 500 more. All right, why does anybody care? What's important about these guys? So here's what's important about these guys. There was a hand. Now I continued to do badly when these guys were there. I was doing badly really 95% of the time. And it wasn't until the last like 5 or 6 shoes that I started getting some huge counts, and things really went nuts at that point, which I'll explain to you in a minute. But I had a hand where, okay, the guy to my right, the younger guy, has a 17, and the dealer has a 9, right? I've got 8-6 for a 14. I've got 14, the dealer has a 9. I signal to hit, okay? The dealer starts to flip her card over. I said, wait a minute, I want to hit. But in starting to flip her card over, she exposes a 4 underneath, which is a 13. Pit boss comes over, wait, hold on. Okay, what do you want to do? Do you want to stay or do you want to hit? Well, now that I know that she has a 13, obviously I didn't say that. I said, I'm just going to stay then. So I stay on my 14 against the dealer 9, and she flips over the 4, which is expected for a 13, and hits an 8 and wins the hand. The guy to my right freaks out and can't believe I did it. I said, what would you do if you saw it? Because at that point I did say it. What would you do if you saw that she had a 13? You're going to stay. You have a 13 against a 14. Why would you hit your 14? You're going to stay on that. So he wasn't happy, but I didn't care. He ended up packing up and leaving. He was down 400. The older guy, who was swinging way high, way low, was way up, way down, ended up leaving at that hand also. He was exactly even, which left me. And at this point, I'm down like $3,500, right? Now, these guys leave. I have a couple okay shoes, and then all my shoes like skyrocket. They're like moon shoes, right? They're way up there. So I'm getting some big counts. So this whole time I've been betting 50 to 200, 50 to 300. I haven't had any decent counts. And you know, the plan was to go 50 to 500, but now I'm down this much, and the pit boss is like, you're never going to catch up if you don't raise your bet. I'm like, Raggy? Really? I said, I couldn't believe that she's egging me on to raise my bet. So I've got at one shoe, I had a running 6 with about 3/4 of a deck to go. And I have like 750 in front of me. So I say, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. You're right. So I put the 750 out there, and I get a double down hand. Okay? So maybe I was in for 3,000 at that point. I get a double down hand. I double it down. I win the hand. So now I'm like, okay, well, I can get away with a lot of this here. Let me bet $1,000. So I bet $1,000. I win the hand. So I keep my bets high like that. The shoe ends, the next shoe starts. We have up and down. But again, high counts again. So now I'm like fearless. I'm ready to go for the fences, right? So let me see. I've got a couple notes here. I was down to 500 at one point. I bet the 500 and won the hand. Now I'm up to 1,000. I bet the 1,000 and I win. Now I've got 2,000. The shoe ends. Next shoe, I'm at 3,000. No, I'm still at 2,000, around 2,000, and I have a $1,000 hand, which ends up being a double. I end up losing that hand. So this is the kind of huge swings that I'm getting. So eventually I'm coming back, doing 500, 1,000. What I'm basically doing at this point is I'm doing 50, 100, 200, 500, 1,000. And I'm getting high counts every shoe, and I'm basically saying to the dealer in the pit, and the pit is standing right there, I'm basically saying, when I feel it, I'm going for it. And the pit's like, that's what you got to do. And she's like, at a couple points, she's like, I think this is the hand you should go all in. No, I'm not really feeling it, you know. And then if I get like a 20, then she's like, see, I told you should have gone all in. I'm like, yeah, but you're an idiot. So eventually I end up at $4,000, and I have bought, and I end up having $4,000 and losing 4 $1,000 hands in a row. I rebuy for 1,000 more. I'm in for 5,000, and the next shoe, which is shoe number infinity, my last hand, I'm at 4,000, and I'm at like 4,024. Then something happens, and I lost something. It ended up at $4,000, and I said to the dealer, how much is left? I've got a running 12, and he said, this looks like the last hand. So I'm like, do I do a $2,000 hand? Do I just do a $1,000 hand? I could probably get away with this. And so I decided to do a $1,000 hand. Last hand of the shoe, and they're cutting it like I said, like 20 cards deep. So I've got a huge count here, and I get first card is a 10. I'm like, awesome. And they show, this place is weird. When they deal to themselves, they don't deal it face down and flip it over. They deal it to themselves face up and then put the other one under it. So I get a 10, dealer gets an ace, and I'm like, please be a 10 or an ace for me right now. And she gives me a 9, so I've got a 19 against a dealer ace for $1,000. And you want insurance? You know what? They didn't even ask me for insurance, because I would have taken it and I would have lost it. But everything happened so fast, because I'm like, come on, let's go. And I would have taken insurance. And I just thought about that. That's a big mistake right there. It's a $500 mistake. But she didn't have it, and she flipped over a 7 for an 18. So I'm exactly even after like 2.5 hours. And my smallest hand was a $50 hand. My largest hand, there was actually one hand that was a $2,000 hand. So the low for the session was minus 4,000. The high for the session, you'll love this, was plus $24.50. And I left plus 0, right? So I got plus 100 on the slots, and I'm at 0 on the blackjack. I go walk around and I look at some more slots and mess around a little bit. And part of it is I don't want to cash all the chips, even though it's very late, very early, and I need to, but I don't want to be ID'd at this place. So I cashed out 2,500 of my 5,000. I've got 2,500 left, and I go to the poker room. I buy in the poker room, and I cash out like a $500 chip, and then I get $500 in chips, and then after a little while, I just take the chips and I walk out of the poker room. So now I'm down to $2,000 in chips, and I go play blackjack again. This time it's on a lower limit table. The high limit is now closed. This is a lower limit table, and I buy in with one chip, one $500 chip, and it's a $25 minimum. I think the max was $2,500 or $2,000. And I'm spreading 25 to 250 on this table. I'm on that table for 25 minutes, 20 minutes, something like that. And I end up leaving ahead. Let me get my notes. It's not on this one, it's on the other note. I end up leaving ahead, 600. I don't know what the big deal was there. Plus 600. So, and And then I ended up going back to the cashier. I had a $499 voucher, and I gave her some change and made it into a $500 voucher and cashed out the $500, gave her the $2,600 in chips, and she cashed me out no problem, and I left. So how did I end up? I ended up ahead $600 on the blackjack, ahead $100 on the slots, and that was a very long night, and I don't know if I would do it again. I mean, I made the money, but now I'm going to be tired. So right now I'm heading back to the other casino, and going to get some sleep and be up early in the morning for all the stuff that we have to do. I'll be right back. All right, so here's what my hesitation was right there when I let you go is I didn't know if I should publish this episode as it is or not, because I am going to play at the hotel in the morning before I leave, and probably tomorrow night, so there will be more content. Or should I publish it now? And I think I'm going to publish it now because there might be a lot of play tomorrow, there might be a little bit of play tomorrow, I have no clue. So instead of just extending it forever, I'm just going to go ahead and publish this, and just, you know, give me your feedback about this crazy day. I just realized about that $500 insurance never even gave me the opportunity, and I think what happened there was she checked it so fast without asking that, because she assumed I had a 19 and not a 20, that I wouldn't take it. And I would bet you anything, if she had a blackjack, they would push it for me because it happened so fast. I'm just replaying it in my head. But anyway, gonna let you go. If you have any questions or comments, my email is mwusa21@gmail.com, mwusa21@gmail.com. See you next time.